மதிப்புக்குரிய மாவட்ட வனக்காவலர் அலுவலர் ஐயா அவர்களுக்கு டாக்டர் கண்ணன் ஜெகதராகிருஷ்ணன் அவர்களை சிறப்பு செய்ய
I call upon Dr. Annamalai R. Murugesan, Director, Hillbrook Research Private Limited, to honor our Chief Guest, Superintending Engineer of TNBOT, Thiru Vasunayar Prem Kumar. Thank you, sir. I call upon Advocate K. Shivakumar, Organizing Secretary, to honor our esteemed Chief Guest, Joint Director of Horticulture, Tirumati Shibila Mary Madam. I call upon Mr. Shivakrishna, Additional Secretary NBTS, to honor Thiruti Gundan, ex-MLA and Badaga Community Leader, past President of YBA. I call upon Ms. Sarada Ramachandran, President, Women Empowerment Movement, to honor Tirumati Sabita Bhujan, the Independent Director of HUDCO. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is how our speaker for the day has looked things in a different way. He received his doctorate of philosophy, specializing in renewable energy systems from the Department of Electrical Engineering, College of Engineering and Science, Victoria University, Melbourne, Australia during the year 2014. He received his Master of Technology from Faculty of Science, Engineering and Technology, Swinburne University of Technology, Melbourne, Australia, and Masters of Business and Administration from Victoria University, Melbourne, Australia during the year 2010 and 2009. He completed his Graduate Diploma of Information Systems Management from Central Queensland University, Melbourne, Australia, and Bachelor of Engineering from Bardia University, Coimbatore, India during the year 2003 and 1999. He has also been provided with VIP protocol at 106th Indian Science Congress organized by Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar, 3rd to 7th January 2019. He has been provided with VVIP protocol throughout the International Conference on Power Generation Systems and Renewable Energy Technologies organized by International Islamic University, Islamabad, Pakistan during November-December 2010. He has delivered keynote presentation and guest lectures. You will be shocked if you know the numbers he has been done. He has delivered 65 keynote presentation and guest lecturers. In 17 places, he has been invited as chief guest and guest of honor during international conferences. 24 inaugural and special and valedictory address during international conferences. And he has received nearly 20 academics and non-academics awards. And he has presented the Best Journal Paper Award. He is a recipient of the Best Journal Paper Award. He has been invited 12 times to act as chair and co-chair during international conferences. And he has been the joint secretary for organizing international conferences and international workshops for 2 times. I proudly present Dr. Kannan Jagadalakrishnan, Principal Scientist, Theoretical Physicist and Cosmologist at World Community Service Center, Alia, for you gatherings. Put a hands to welcome him, and we are ready to see the origin and end of theory. Thank you.
My warm salutations to my Guru Vedatri and my Guru Satyamurthy, and for my honorable chief guest here, my parents, my community leaders, and my brothers and sisters. Today I am here to talk about 360 years old science, and it is very easy to understand that I am going to disprove it. And also sometimes I will talk in few words in Tamil or Badaga because most of the community people here, and initially I will talk in English and I will apologize for just for 5 minutes to make them understand. I may change my language later on. Today, we know Einstein, we know Newton, they are the top scientists in the world. Rather than telling that they are wrong, I am not telling they are wrong, I am just correcting that they made a mistake, we have to correct in the right direction. For example, today's Newton's gravity cannot answer all these questions. Dark matter means dark is unknown. Dark matter means dark is unknown. Dark energy, there is no answer. Newton's theory cannot answer dark energy. Newton's theory cannot answer, Einstein's theory cannot answer dark energy. Nobody has defined mass so far. In case, if Newton is right, Newton's theory works for the satellites, but Einstein's theory is completely different from Newton's theory. My question is, why do we have 2 different theories, 2 different applications? Why can't we have a single theory? If Newton is right, then why Einstein disproved Newton? If Einstein is right, why satellites are working still in the principle of Newton? This is a big question mark. And also, there is no answers for some of the important experiments. There is gravity, physics, there are 2 pillars. One is relativity and one is quantum mechanics. In relativity, there is gravity, but in quantum mechanics, there is no gravity. Gravity is still not understood how it works. So why there is a problem here? And if you see the next questions, there is no definition for an atom, there is no definition for the universe, nobody knows, everyone knows planets are moving in the elliptical path, no one knows why planets are spinning. If anyone can answer why planets are spinning, then the whole science will change. And nobody knows why electrons are rippling. Now let me start with a very simple example. For example, we know Earth. Earth is having 3/4 of water and 1/4 of land, we all know that. For example, we all studied about global warming. What is global warming? It is nothing but when the sunlight hitting the earth and going back. The man-made greenhouse gases, not the natural greenhouse gases, the man-made greenhouse gases hit the earth and goes back. The carbon dioxide makes a big blanket on the top of the earth. When it's making a blanket, what happens? When the sunlight is hitting the earth and going back, what is happening is the greenhouse gases trap the sunlight and makes the earth more warmer and warmer. For example, we having a cup of tea, we want to make a cup of tea. Initially what we do? We put a glass of water. Initially when we put the glass of water, when we boil it, the level increases. Only when we keep on boiling, it becomes steam. Initially level increases. The same way, the level is increasing in the earth. My question is, if the earth, 1/4 of the land, if it can hold billions and billions of buildings, 1,000 meters of buildings, if it can hold mountains, if it can hold human beings of 50 and 100 kgs, my first question, why the global warming, there is an increase of water only 1 mm every year. Why can't, if the gravity is true, why can't the gravity pull the water? Why the water is coming to the land? For example, I am having a small rubber ball. When I compress the rubber ball, what will happen? Wherever there is a gap, there will be a bulge. If there is no gap, there is no bulge. So what happens if I put the ball without a gap? There will not be any bulge. Therefore, in the space there is no gap at all. When you go at an atomic level, at quark level, then you will understand space, water, everything is nothing but initial is quark, everything comes from space. So if you see here, I have written a new definition for global warming. During the year, I want to tell it very badly here. During the year 2011, there was the biggest conference in Australia. I made one of the she is the head of research. I asked her a question. She was talking about global warming, definition of global warming. I told her, you see, a definition is right. I was the student. I was sitting in the first row. I raised my hand. I got the mic. When the person came and gave the mic, I pushed him down. The reason is, if I don't kick it, will there be any impact? If I don't push it, will there be any impact? Without the force, there is no impact at all. So I told them, look, I'm very sorry. The reason I pushed the person because I want to tell a new definition. There is a force in the universe. There is a force in the space. Without space, there is no global warming impact at all. So what is happening here? Initially, when the water level is trying to increase, Einstein discovered mass is acting on the space, but he failed to understand the space is also acting on the mass. If you see here, initially what will happen is the water level will increase, then slowly the space will push. Without a push, there is no impact. That is the only reason why the water is coming to the land. If the gravity is true, why can't the gravity pull 1 mm of water? Am I right? I want you to think. If the gravity is true, it can pull 1 mm of water, but it is not pulling and it is coming back again. If you see here, again, space is acting on the mass. Slowly water level is increasing and then again space is pushing, therefore water is coming to the land. This is the new definition and she got insulted. And I asked another question. US has given a very big project to Australia that is known as carbon sequestration process. What they do, we have to make a hole in the earth, then we have to have a pipeline, we have to collect all the carbon dioxide from the power plants as well as from the vehicles, cutting of trees, and we have to inject inside. I asked her only one question. Madam, can you stop earthquake? If you can stop earthquake, I will agree with you, we will go ahead with the project. If you can't stop the earthquake, I told you have to stop. You made a big blunder in recommending the Prime Minister of Australia, she was Julia Gillard. I told you make a big blunder in bringing the project to Australia. She got insulted. And I told, there is evidence in Lake Nyas. 1700 people died because of very small leakage of carbon dioxide. So when 1700 people died without a very small leakage of carbon dioxide, I told, why did you take this $1 billion project inside Australia? So why we have to die because of you? So she got insulted and next day, she wanted me to sack and kick me out from the PhD. And the managers came to me and they asked me, you have to come and apologize to the CEO because you made a blunder, you made a statement, you never asked a question. I told, okay, I will come. The same day, it's a 5-day conference, the same day I came there. In the 6 o'clock, they called me, they gave me a cup of water. And 2 managers, all 3 are ladies, they told that he has come to apologize you. Then I had a cup of water and I told, look, madam, I never came to apologize you. The managers invited me to come and apologize you. I told, I will never apologize because I am very strong in my concept. In case if I am wrong, whatever I know is size of my palm. But whatever I don't know is the size of the universe. I don't know, but in this particular concept, I know this is right, so definitely I am not going to apologize you. What happened? The next day, they sacked me, they kicked me from the conference, and my professor called me, within 5 minutes, I want to see you in Melbourne. I was with the Kings. Then a girl is from our village, I went to her house, I stayed there one week, and after 1 week, I met my professor. He told me, tell me what happened. I told what exactly happened. Then he told, look, I will give you 5 minutes time. Either I don't want to kick you from the PhD. Either you resign the PhD or give me a letter stating that I am mentally retarded. So what I have to do, there are only 2 options. Either if I get out of the PhD, definitely I can't go and join anywhere in Australia because he is the head of Australia. Biggest CEO in Australia. After Prime Minister and Science Minister, she is dead. Then I decided to write a letter within 5 minutes. I told because my godmother died, so I mentally retired. I don't know what happened in the conference. And immediately my professor sent this email to the CEO and her ego was broken. She has sent this email to everyone, still I have the record, and the ego was broken. And for 3 to 6 months I've been called as a mental person, which I accepted as a challenge because look, we are not here to any criticism, but we know what we are trying to take them in the right direction. So we have to be bold, we have to accept any criticism, then only we can go to the next level. So I accepted it. So again, when I came and gave a talk in the 2019 in the Indian Science Congress, and the Union Science Minister Harshvardhan made a note that Kannan has to present after the Nobel laureates from foreign countries, make sure, give him a VIP protocol, and he has to present in the third place. And after me, Vice Chancellors and other directors presented. So I also told there, see, if I don't tell, whatever I am telling here now, I told the same message to the public. The media people misunderstood it. They made one small line. Actually, my professor has asked, he wants to help me. That is the only reason he asked me to give a letter. He told, I want to help you to retain as a PhD, this is the only option, and he requested me to write a letter. He never criticized me, he don't want to kick me out. But the media, what they have done, they left the word that the professor wants to help me, and they made a very big criticism, and I was able to even withstand that. That's not a big deal. Now let me tell what is happening. Straight away I will go here, and I will just tell what is the difference between Newton's gravity and Einstein's gravity. This one question we three have to answer. Newton has to answer, Einstein have to answer, and I have to answer. You have to decide what is right and what is wrong. And Newton told, gravity is pull, and there are all the planets are revolving around the sun in the middle. And as per Newton, when sun collapses, we have to answer what will happen. When sun dies, what will happen to all the planets? Einstein have to answer, when sun dies, what will happen to all the planets? And I have to answer, when sun dies, what will happen to the planets? And you have to decide who's right here. As per Newton, when sun dies, immediately within a fraction of a second, all the planets will move in the straight line. Not even within a fraction of a second, it will not even take 1 second. As soon as the sun collapses, all the planets will move in the straight line. But Einstein was thinking about time. And then he thought, if sun collapses, to the sunlight to reach the earth, it will take 8 minutes and 20 seconds. If you see there, when the sun dies immediately, the light will be reaching the earth 8 minutes 20 seconds. Only after 8 minutes and 20 seconds, earth will understand that sun is collapsed. So is gravity is a force here? This is how Einstein disproved Newton that gravity is not a force. And what he told us, if you see a circus, people will be, when they jump, you can see the trampoline like a bend. He told there is a bend in the space-time, and the mass is floating, and when the mass is going, the space-time make a bend. This is Einstein's gravity, space-time curvature. He told that is not a force at all. But till today, satellites are working on the based upon Newton's gravitational force. On the other hand, physics, the definition of gravity, there is no force. So still we don't know what is the answer. Quantum mechanics is giving a different answer, and relativity is giving a different answer. Now, I am giving my answer. What happens if sun dies? And this is the third answer. Let us see here. Now this is a dam. We have a dam wall. Water have to fill the dam. Let us assume from 2 kilometers, water is approaching towards the dam wall. When the water is approaching towards the dam wall, the water which is approaching the dam wall will be faster and will be speeder than the water which is hitting the wall and coming back, because the water will be acting as an obstruction. So what is happening here? I am telling, when I remove the wall, water will be moving only in the one direction, am I right? Without any disturbance. But Einstein says, when you remove the wall, there will be disturbance. Is it right?
No.
When I am telling that when I remove the ball, I am telling there is no disturbance. Einstein says there is disturbance. Same way, I will explain that. See today, if you have a ball, if you push the ball in the front, the ball goes in the forward direction. If you push to the left, it goes to the left. If you push to the right, it goes to the right. We need energy to push. Without energy, we can't push. And if you see next, if you see here, we have Earth and we have Sun. Sun is 333,000 times heavier than the Earth. Which is heavy here? Sun is heavy. 2019, they gave a Nobel Prize to James Peebles for predicting in the universe more than 95% is only empty space. Only less than 5%, exactly 4.46%, is all the objects with the billions and billions of stars and planets. When you all add everything together, it's only less than 5%, which is 4.6%. See, when there are billions and billions of stars and planets, and compare Earth as well as Sun, it will be a dot, isn't it, for the space. There are billions and billions of planets. Now let us compare whether Earth is stronger, Sun is stronger, or the space is strongest. Lord Krishna is not holding the Earth. Muhammad Nabi is not holding the Earth. Jesus is not holding the Earth, you or me. We know that all planets are floating on the space. Therefore, we can conclude only space is supporting and holding the planets. Right? When the space is holding and supporting billions and billions of planets, now tell me which is strongest, Earth, Sun or space? Space. For example, I am standing in the middle. I am standing in the middle. And there are 5 people standing around me without any gap. Second circle there are 7 people. Third circle there are 11, so forth. There are 100 circles. If everyone are pushing me equally from all directions, what will happen to me? I will get crushed, I will get squeezed, and I want to expel out. Am I right? I am expelling out because people are pushing me, isn't it? If people don't push me, I will not expel out. Same way, Earth is moving in the same path without changing its polarity. So far in the history, Earth has not taken 200 days to make one full rotation. At the same time, Earth has not taken 400 days to make one full rotation. So it's taking the exact path 365.25 days. When it's taking the exact same path, the only possible solution is the space must act on 360 degree angle and direction. If the pressure is more on one particular side, what will happen? As I told you, if I push the object in one forward direction, what happens? It will go in the forward direction. If I push to the left, it goes to the left. Only possible way, when there is pressure equally on 360 degree angle and direction, then only Earth can move in the same path. Before you told that I am expelling out because people are pushing me, right? You only told. Now tell me, Earth is moving or forced to move? Forced. If Earth is forced to move, space is pushing, isn't it? Yes. Now tell me, Newton says gravity is pull, I am telling space is pushing. Who is right?
You are right.
You are right.
Here, whether Newton is right or Einstein is right, definitely space is pushing, so Earth is not pulling. Now when you see, in the universe, there are only 4 quantities. One is space, second one is time, third one is matter, and fourth one is energy. There is nothing more than this, right? Newton told, space, time, matter, energy, all 4 are independent, they are not dependent. But Einstein says, space, time, matter, energy are dependent. For example, our chief guest will ask me to come and meet him. If our chief guest does not tell me what time to go and meet him, I don't know whether I have to meet him today, tomorrow, or maybe after 1 year, I don't know. So he is telling that, okay, come and meet me tomorrow 3 o'clock. So you cannot separate the time. But time is not dimension. We have 3 dimensions. Time is not dimension, but we cannot separate it. That is why Einstein, this is how Einstein disproved Newton, that space-time is a single 4th dimension which cannot be separated. He says space-time. That is what space-time curvature is nothing but the Einstein's gravity, how he disproved Newton. Now I want you to tell. We already know that space is pushing, right? If space is pushing, to push an object I need energy, isn't it? Can we stop the earth for 1 second? Is it possible?
No.
Can we stop any star for 1 second? Highly impossible. That means spaces keep on pushing, isn't it? If spaces keep on pushing, space is energy or not? What I am telling, there are only 3 quantities in physics, not 4. Space and energy are one single entity with 2 different names. Einstein and Newton telling they are 4 different things. And I am telling space, energy, one entity. Einstein and Newton says they both are different. Who's right here? Okay. So here it clearly says that gravity as per Einstein is wrong. As per Newton it is wrong. And there are only 3 quantities in the universe. So even a simple layman can understand. As I told, my equation today is E is equal to mw squared. This is the definition of physics for 21st century and beyond. And I will tell you in one single way with the same example what I told you before, how E is equal to mc squared is log. If you take the dam example, I will explain once again. If you take the same dam example, as I told you, water which is moving in the forward direction will be faster, isn't it? Water which is moving in the will be faster. At the same time, when you see here, now we know there is a bulb here. And there are wires connected. In the middle we have a tungsten. Electrons are flowing at very high speed. Still we have not predicted the speed of the electrons. Electrons are traveling speeder than the light. So, when the electrons are traveling at very high speed, it reaches the tungsten. And again it crosses. The tungsten is giving very high pressure. When the tungsten is giving very high pressure, the electrons move at the smaller, slow path, and again it reaches. Here, tungsten is still alive, electrons are still alive. The third event is like, am I right? Tungsten is not dead, electrons are not dead, still we are receiving light. Same way, as I told you, when the light is emitted, here we will compare with the sun. Space is pushing, we have concluded already. When the space is pushing the sun, that is why sun is moving, and the same space will be coming in the negative direction. Water which is moving and hitting the wall will be positive direction, positive force. Water which is coming back after hitting will be negative force. Same way, space which is hitting the sun will be positive force. The same force which is coming back will be negative force. Can the negative force will be stronger, will be constant? Because the positive force is giving very high resistance. So the negative force cannot be constant, travel at constant speed, and intensity decreases. At one state it becomes 0, isn't it? So, because of the pressure of the space, a third event, light is emitted. Light is moving in the negative direction. So can the light be constant? When the repulsive force cannot be constant, how can light be constant? Light will, intensity decreases, and at one stage the light intensity will become 0. Now tell me, E is equal to mc squared. C is constant or not?
No constant.
In this, I made it very simple to even for the layman to understand. If you think that light is constant, then my theory is wrong. But I can make you very easily, light cannot travel in the positive direction. Light have to travel only in the negative direction, and we have very high pressure. When the space can hold billions and billions of planets, do you think light will be stronger than the space? And space is not empty. So E is equal to mc squared. C is completely wrong. E is equal to mw squared. What is W here is negative force. The force which is coming from the sun, that is known as W. When we take the length of the W and square it, and for example, if you see here, before that, let me finish this. What Einstein says, light will never die. Light will never die. And he says, nothing can travel faster than light. These are the two hypotheses of Einstein. Now, let us take a stone wheel. Let us make the knife sharp. When you keep on making the knife sharp, you can see all the sparks emitting. And again, the sparks are going against the space. If, as per Einstein, if light will never die, nothing can travel faster than light. For example, if somebody parallel to a straight line and somebody is sharpening the knife, then the spark has to cross us, isn't it, as per Einstein? But what is happening? In a fraction of a second, light becomes space. Because the intensity of the light cannot withstand the pressure of the space, it becomes space. Like how water is hitting the wall and coming back, after a certain distance it becomes zero and again joins with the water and is going in the forward direction. Same way, the intensity of light joins the space, again start pushing the planets and stars, and again intensity of light is very slow. Therefore Einstein is wrong here. Light cannot be travel at constant speed. At the same time, light will die. He told light will never die. Light will die. The only thing which will never die in the universe is only space. For example, if you see here, there is water. When you keep the water inside very cool temperature, what will happen? We will get ice. And when you keep it in the normal temperature, what will happen? The ice becomes water. So origin is space, end is space. In between, our life is nothing but the ice cubes. This is the transition of life. Like how water, ice is converted, again ice becomes water. So space, then matter is generated, again we become space. See, the repulsive force which I am telling in the negative direction, can we stop the earth for 1 second? Can we stop the sun for 1 second? It's highly impossible. Therefore, the day when you can stop the earth or sun or any other planet, then only repulsive force stops. When the repulsive force stops, then we all will become space. Because we all are fraction of space. The only difference between the matter, the sun and everything is number of multiples of quarks, which is the smallest, which cannot be further divided. Next, if you see here, I am not telling this. If you see here, in 2018, US scientists have disproved Newton's gravity. I have done it before theoretically. Now experimentally during the year 2018, Newton's gravity is already disproved. And already Andrea Ghez, professor from US, he already told Einstein's theory cannot explain what is a black hole. Therefore, Einstein's theory will very soon will get frayed. So I am giving a very simple example how Einstein is wrong in the black hole. As I told you before, if I am standing in the middle, people are standing around me, everyone are pushing me, isn't it? Everyone are pushing me, what will happen to me? I am getting expelling out. When I am coming out, the first circle people who are standing around me will take the position of my position. Again there is keep on pressure and they will come out. Same way, we will be moving in the elliptical path. Can I cross 100 circles? 100 people are pushing me in all directions. Is it possible for me to cross 100 and move outside? It is highly impossible. I can go for the first or second. Same way, when the space is pushing, it is highly impossible to the objects to go far away. Why it is separated? Because the negative force from every planet, the sun will be having a bigger negative repulsive force. The moon will be having a small repulsive force. Again, the other object will be having a small repulsive force compared to the sun. So only this repulsive force, the same thing which the damp water hits and coming back, that water which is coming back, that is in the universe, in the space, that is only thing which is separating all the planets, and still why planets will not hit together at all. If anyone tells that both the planets will hit together, I will tell highly impossible. If somebody challenge, I will not challenge with money, I will challenge with my life. So I am so confident that why planets are separated only because of the negative force which is known as repulsive force. That is why that repulsive force W keeps all the planets separated in the universe. Here, for example, you can try this. When you go to the sink and fill the water and close the sink and then slowly take the strainer off, and you can see that all the water will be concentrated towards the strain hole and water will be expelling out. When the water is expelling out, you can see a hole will be generated. You can do it today. That is known as black hole. That is nothing but dark matter. That Einstein theory is not able to answer, and recently theoretically US scientists have disproved Einstein's theory cannot answer black holes. Now we have to find a new theory. So that's why I am telling, see, when Aristotle told Earth is in the middle, we all accepted, right? Then Copernicus told, sun is in the middle. Then later on we accepted. Then Galileo told, sun is not in the middle, there are millions and millions of satellites. Even then you accepted. Then Johannes Kepler came and told, earth is moving in the elliptical path. You physicists, we all accepted. Then he was not able to answer why they are moving the elliptical path. Then Newton came, he told gravity is pull, we all accepted. Then Einstein told gravity is not a pull, we accepted. What is the problem? If I am telling gravity there is a no pull, why are you not accepting it when I am telling space is pushing? Is the scientific world or is the whole world is against me because Kannan is giving the answer? If not me, somebody has to give the answer, right? One person has to give the answer. What I am trying to tell is, better you give the answer. If you can't give the answer, please follow me. I am not telling I am right. I am not telling I am great. You give me the answer for 15 questions. Einstein theory can't give. Stephen Hawking's theories can't give. Anyone, nobody can give the answer. Then what is the point of having the theory and we are keep going on reading all the wrong things? So this is the right time to correct the theory. I am not telling Newton, I am not underestimating Newton. I am not underestimating Einstein. I am not underestimating anyone. As I told you, what we know is size of the palm. What we don't know is the size of the universe. For example, he may be knowing something different which I don't know. Our principal may be knowing a lot which I don't know. But what I know, I am very strong in the concept that I can make clear, we understand the whole world, that what we are studying science today is completely wrong. So we have to take another transition. We have to move on to the next, to go to the next level. So this here, I think today is the day, and you people made the day history. I am telling you very shortly, this theory will be accepted. It is not very long. This theory will be sent to the 400 top ranking universities from tomorrow by the journal editor. And this paper I will send to everyone here. What all diagrams I have explained here, I explained simply all the concepts. You don't have to be a physicist to read this and understand. So this paper from tomorrow will reach all over the world within 3 months' time. It will reach all the 400 top universities. It will reach all over India, and then people will decide. I don't think nobody will disagree at this stage because it is not 1 year as my friend told. It is my 12th year. I started this Newton's gravity is wrong during 2010 at Pakistan first time. You don't believe, Pakistan scientists gave me very encouragement. But Indian scientists and Australian scientists, they are the first enemies of me. But see, for example, if they don't treat me like that, then this theory will not have any value. I need that. I want to undergo that. I'm having the capacity to withstand any criticism even after future. But I will never change my words. And I will never change. Nobody can give a simple example. If you are a scientist, you must be able to give a layman to understand what the science is. The simple way I'm asking now, one question you give me the answer. Why Newton's gravity is working for satellites? Why Einstein's gravity is not working for satellites? Why quantum mechanics is not compatible with relativity? Why relativity is not compatible with quantum mechanics? If you give these two answers, then I will leave. I will stop my research. And if anyone can give, why Earth is spinning? Earth is rotating, everyone knows. What is the reason for Earth is spinning? Earth is spinning because the pressure given by all 360 degree angle and direction, Earth is spinning. So now I want to tell this message. During 2019, one experiment was wrong and I've given the right theory. And I named this theory as Narendra Modi waves. I want you to tell whether I'm right telling is right or wrong. I want you to answer. And I told gravitational lensing effect as Harshvardhan lensing effect. What is happening here is, current scientists think, see for example, when the dam wall is taken, there is no disturbance, right? When the earth collapses, there will be only one direction force, there is no negative direction. What scientists are telling now, for the LIGO experiment, millions of years ago, a big satellite died. And that waves are coming now, and we are predicting that that is what the answer is now in physics. What I told, that is completely wrong. The sun's repulsive force is coming. Maybe the planet's repulsive force is coming. That is what you're detecting now. So what my probe is, there is no problem in the experimental physics. All the experiments are right. The problem is only in the theoretical physics, failing to understand the theory in a right way. Right? That therefore what I told, this gravitational waves, the understanding is wrong. I told only we have detected the repulsive force, and this LIGO experiment is only 3 set up in the world, 2 in US and 1 in India. It is going to be implemented during the year 2025. Now tell me, for one single experiment, look, when I was in Australia, when Indian government called me, we have the evidence, my guru came, Ashwardhan told me to come, pack up and come back to Australia, India. And I told, okay, within 2 months I packed and came back. At that time, I never thought that it's Indian Congress government, I am not worried about BJP government. For me, only Indian government called me, I came here. Am I right? I am not against DMK, I am not against ADMK, I am a scientist, common person. Only Indian government called me here. So I am looking here as not a BJP Prime Minister, I am looking him as an Indian Prime Minister who have invested, approved 1026 crores for one single experiment. In the history, no Prime Minister have approved for one single experiment 1026 crores. As a scientist, as a gratitude, I kept for this particular experiment, I kept rather than gravitational waves, I named as Narendra Modi waves. Is this any wrong? If I have done personally, if personally Narendra Modi would have called me to come and join BJP, and then if I would have given this answer, if Rahul Gandhi would have given approved, I would have not kept Narendra Modi waves, I would have kept Rahul Modi waves or Rahul Gandhi waves. Second experiment, 2018, when I sent my paper to all the 400 universities, Ashwardhan on February 14th, 2018 on Valentine's Day, I sent my paper to Ashwardhan. Within a month, we have seen that paper. On March 16th, Stephen Hawking is dying. After 2 days, there is an Indian Science Congress. So people what will do is, they will talk the latest informations. Because Stephen Hawking died, what happened? Our minister told there is another equation, better equation than E is equal to MC square in India. A person has done it. So everyone were behind Ashwardhan. And they totally criticized him. He called me and told, look, you sent your paper, I have done it, now you are the person, you have to answer everyone. Then I started calling all the scientists from India. I told, look, Ashwardhan is not an ordinary minister. He has done MBBS, he has done PG, he has worked in the field, and not a layman, not uneducated. If he thinks and if he do something, he will definitely do something is there. I told you, rather than blaming Ashwardhan, if anyone can give the answers what I've given here, I told I will withdraw from my research. If you can't give, then what is the point of shouting at Ashwardhan? Is there any point? And he has only justified me. So, when I wrote the right answer for the gravitational lensing experiment, see here, I want you to tell this. I made it in a very simple example. Now let's look here. For example, there is a straight line. And in the straight line, the baby has to crawl straight. Right? When the baby is crawling, and if somebody is sitting there rigidly, what will happen to the baby? Can the baby move in a straight line? The baby will approach towards me, and she will make a small deviation, and then again she will go in the straight line. Is there any wrong here? If baby is, for example, a 100, 200 kg man is coming and crossing the baby, what will baby will do? He can go. Therefore, what is happening here is, during solar eclipse, in between the sun and the earth, moon will come in the middle. Now we have the biggest telescope. Scientists are looking at the telescope, one of the starlight. As I told you, when the water is hitting the dam wall coming back, near the wall, intensity will be more, intensity slowly decreases. The same way, these people were looking at the satellite very far away. What happens when the light travels at a longer distance? Intensity keep on decreasing. At one stage it becomes zero. When the starlight is approaching towards the sunlight, the intensity of the sunlight will be more than the starlight. So that light is like a baby, cannot hit the sunlight and go straight, so it has to make a bend. Now tell me, there is a bend in the space or the intensity of the light is low?
Intensity.
Intensity of the light is less. So, because Harshvardhan promoted me to India, he only told, as when he was a minister, there is a better equation. Now I have to justify this equation. I gave the right answer. And I made this experiment. Instead of gravitational lensing effect, I kept it as Harshvardhan lensing effect. What is wrong in here? For example, he only promoted me. He told this equation is better than Einstein. So as a gratitude, I gave the right answer. So I am naming as Harshvardhan lensing effect, so that I will be a BJP person. Will Harshvardhan will become a father? Which is highly impossible, because he promoted. He was the minister. He was challenging everyone. Just because I gave him the paper, I sent him the paper. He don't even know who is me. And the relation between me and Harshvardhan, there is no third person in between. I just sent the paper, and again he called me back to Australia. He told immediately come back to India, and you have to answer all the scientists. From the day one today, to meet the Prime Minister or anyone, to meet even we met other ministers, I've never used anyone's name other than Harshvardhan name. And I was able to go anywhere. So this is the only reason, as a dedication, I've kept two things. When I'm telling the answer, why Earth is spinning, not only rotating. Because of 360-degree angle and direction, when you give equal pressure to 360-degree angle, that will be elliptical path, and that will be equal to the object to spin. There is no other answer other than this. So I named this as Harshvardhan spinning. 3 experiments. I gave 1 for Narendra Modi and 2 for Harshvardhan. The media started telling me, I am a follower of BJP, Narendra Modi is my guru, so I am not worried about whatever criticism is. In my place, I have done the justice. For people who helped me, Narendra Modi who helped India, not me, but Harshvardhan promoted me, I have done the justice. So when I was made a big mistake, I didn't answer this in the Indian Science Congress. The only mistake I made is, I named this experiment as Harshvardhan effect, Narendra Modi waves, so people understood in a different way. Now you tell me whether I have done justice or whether I have done anything wrong.
You have done justice.
So this will reach the world very soon, and I have written in this paper why I have named Narendra Modi waves, why I have named Harshvardhan effect, why I have named Harshvardhan spinning. The 3 experiments, I gave a very clear explanation with the reasons, and I gave the right theory. So now definitely the world will understand. That day I made a mistake. If I know that media people will do this, I would have given the answer. Now let us move on. So till now in the world, nobody knows why light is duality in nature. Light is having 2 qualities. Sometimes it behaves as a particle, sometimes it behaves as a wave. Nobody knows. For example, I have made in a very simple example. Look here, let us assume there is a bridge. In the bridge, 100 people are standing in 5 columns, 500 people and 5 in a row. If 500 people are there, we all have to cross the other side of the bridge. Can we cross? When bridge is full, we have to cross the other side. Is it possible for us to cross? Not possible. Let us assume the people in the 3rd column, everyone from this side, they have crossed to the other side. Okay. So when they cross from this side to the other side, then everyone, we can start at the 3rd column and we will end at the 3rd column. While starting at the 3rd column, can we go to the 1st column? Can we go to the 5th column? It's highly impossible. So here, when the electrons or light is traveling, when the magnets are switched on, what happens when the magnets are switched on? Like water is heating and coming back, like space is heating and coming back. Near the magnets, a repulsive force is generated. The repulsive force intensity is greater than the intensity of the light. So the light don't have any other option, it has to go only in one way. So therefore it becomes particle. Now let us see the next scenario. 500 people crossed. So we all, first our chief guest is going in the front, next our uncle, Gundan's uncle is going, third we are going means our chief guest can take path number 1 and he can finish at path number 5. Our former MLA, community leader, he can take path number 3 and he can finish at path number 1. So we can go as we like. Here there is no 400 people. Here there is no repulsive force. So whenever there is no repulsive force, light will be Now light cannot be stronger. As I told you, light is moving in the negative direction. So when the light is moving, space is giving very high pressure. So the first particle goes in the negative direction left, second will go in the right, third one will go in the left, fourth one will go in the right. Is it right or wrong? So this will behave like a wave. So in the history so far, nobody answered why light is duality in nature. I made in a very simple example how light is duality in nature. The only reason because they misunderstood to understand the space is pushing the object. When they understand space is pushing the object, they will understand the repulsive force is generated. Till the time we can stop the earth, it is highly impossible to stop negative waves. Same way the magnet is generated, negative force is generated. That is why light will be duality in nature. And if you see the next, this is the experiment. When you keep the magnets on, then they have to traveling in the straight one direction. When the magnets are off, then they will be moving in different path. So this is how light is duality in nature. And if you see the next experiment, I have just told that wanting a strange physics, this is what I want to say. Now, Newton's experiment at low level is correct about gravity. When you put an object falling down, the gravitational experimental result is right. Only the understanding is wrong. For example, as I told you, space is pushing. So when we throw the satellite, when we inject the satellite towards the higher, towards the space, if let us assume the diameter of the earth is only 20 centimeters, let us assume. If we inject the satellite 20 centimeters, it will come and hit the earth. It will come and hit the earth. But if we can inject 21 centimeter or 22 centimeter, this will go to the space. People were asking me, why can't that pull the earth? Actually, still there is no answer. Why it is happening is, I will tell you in a simple example. I am standing in the middle. There is a pipe in the right hand side, and there is a pipe in the left hand side. Water will be flowing in both directions and it will be hitting me. I just move behind. What will happen to the water? Both will hit and take the path in the down. Same way, if you take sun as well as you take earth, when the space is pushing the sun, object of the sun is bigger, the waves will be traveling at the far longer distance. Again, the earth is smaller, again the negative force also will be traveling. When both are hitting together, it will take a different path, isn't it? So far there is no answer. I am the first person to answer why planets are crossing the space. What happens when both spaces from both objects are hitting together? A small path is generated. When the path is generated, that is why I am asking this question. We injected the satellite 40 kilometers or 100 kilometers away from the earth. Then, why when the earth is moving, satellite also moving with us? We have already injected and now I am moving. It has to be only there, isn't it? Why it is coming behind me? Why it is coming behind me? Because the repulsive force is keep on traveling. The space is keep on pushing. The object is keep on moving. The repulsive forces keep on hitting each other. Again the path is generated. That is the only reason why it has been moving in the same path. So this is the reason. So if you want me to go ahead, I am happy to give another 1 hour lecture, but it's already like 12:45. And if you want me to proceed, I will proceed, or if you want me to give any questions, I'm happy to answer the questions.
In this gravity, we need a little bit of clarity.
Okay.
What is it about?
Look here. See here. See, I will explain once again. As per Newton's gravity, when sun dies, when sun collapses, what will happen is all the planets immediately will move in a straight line, because Newton told gravity is a force. Okay. So as per Newton, if any star dies, the planets which are revolving around that particular star will move in the straight line. Next, Einstein was thinking, when the sun dies, the sunlight will take 8 minutes, 20 seconds to reach the earth. till the time Earth does not know that sun has died. So can it be instant force? Only after 8 minutes, 20 seconds, Einstein's, as per Einstein, the sun will move in, the Earth will move in the different direction. So this is the difference between Newton and Einstein. Newton says it is a force, Einstein says that is not a force, it's just a belt. Okay. And what I am telling, and he says when the sun collapses, there will be a disturbance. And I am telling, we can't stop the object. As I told you, if everyone are pushing, the space is pushing, we know that space is pushing. When the space is pushing, the object is moving. And then when the space collapses, for example, there is a wall, the dam water is hitting the wall. When you take the wall, what happens? There is no disturbance. Same way when the sun dies, this is how I told, there is no disturbance when the sun dies. Look here. For example, this light is not moving, just let me come here if you don't mind. See, when the sun is in the position 1, the light will travel only till this distance, right? When the sun comes to the position 2, here it will be dark. Am I right? When the sun comes to the position 3, 4, 1 and 2 will be dark. When this comes to the 4, 1, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 will be dark. 2019, just not 3 years ago, we have given a Nobel Prize to James Peebles for predicting 23% is dark matter. I am telling 100% is dark matter. Do you understand? If sun is moving the other side, that must be empty. If the sun is moving, what is moving? Sunlight is only keep on moving. Sun is moving means the place already there is only dark space. So the space is 100% or 23%. So we gave a Nobel Prize. We gave 8 crores to a person for doing nothing, for theoretically predicting a wrong information, and just 3 years ago we gave a Nobel Prize. So if you see my theory, all the Nobel Prize winners has to give back the Nobel Prize either to the country or to me. So that is what will happen very soon. So another point you have to observe very clearly here. I told there is no definition for an atom and a universe. See the definition for an atom. When sun is moving from position 1 to 2, the light will be moving on to 2. What is light? The water which is hitting the dam wall and coming in the negative direction. What is light? When the space is hitting and coming back, the space is giving very high pressure, one of the event is light. Here, repulsive force and event, they only keep on moving. If there is no repulsive force, will there be light? No. If there is no repulsive force, there will be light? No, because if there is no repulsive force, the space will not give any pressure. The space will not act like a high pressure like a tungsten. So there will not be any repulsive force. What is happening here? Repulsive forces keep on moving. And the definition of atom is nothing but repulsive force and its associated fluctuations. The definition of universe is nothing but repulsive force and its associated fluctuations. So only things move because of the space. And space is 100% everywhere. The paper which I published, I have corrected them. I have told that space is 100%, dark matter is 100%. If you see, there is no answer for dark matter. Dark matter is nothing but where there is space, only one force. Like a dam, where is water flowing one direction is nothing but dark matter. When you have both forces, the volume occupied in the space, volume occupied in the space by both direction, this is known as dark energy. So which I have already defined, and he was one of the journal, and he is the witness today. JP has not simply come for my invitation. He is witnessing my theory that 2 papers he has published around the world, and he is the witness for the 400 universities we have sent it. Every copy of my paper I was given a copy to JP, to Vice President, to Prime Minister, as well as President. We are sending the paper to 4 people. One is Prime Minister, one is President, one is Ashwadan, and the 4th copy of my previous papers has gone here. So I invited personally, I have never invited anyone out of Nilgiris. I have invited only the VIPs of Nilgiris. One person today out of, to witness my theory, he has come here, so that is why he gave a lecture, a welcome address to the region. So, and before that, I will just explain one point. Look here, same thing I told. When sun collapses, The light after 8 minutes becomes totally dark and there is no disturbance, and this is what 100% that is dark matter.